what's going on? Thanks so much for tuning in. Welcome to my channel. This is Purusha Intuitive, and I am Deborah. I am your host, Deborah. I feel like such a nerd, so yeah, welcome. I hope you enjoyed that intro. So we're going to do our look into our weekly astrology. I brought along my handy dandy, one of my favorite astrology decks. It has the planets, the houses, the zodiac, the transits, and so we'll pull as we go along and also look at how these transits are manifesting in our lives over the next week or so. This is for February 6th through the 12th. What we see in the beginning of the week is that there really is kind of a softening of energy. So we are just coming from a full moon, which was yesterday, the 5th. It brought out a lot of tension, especially as it relates to our love relationship, or just anyone close to us. There was some tension between Mars and Venus, as well as Uranus and the full moon. So with that being said, it really challenged us. It challenged us in ways that we show up in our world, how we are seen. It challenged us especially in places that we wanted to be seen in a specific way and we weren't. And we made decisions accordingly out of that. So like I said, the energy is kind of waning from that full moon, and it has, like I said, just the energy begins to soften a little bit more. There is more harmony as we begin the week, specifically with the Mercury sextile to Neptune. So right now, Neptune is in Pisces. It deals a lot with our intuitive energy, our spirituality, essentially, the way that the spirit world manifests in our day-to-day living, our intuition, our knowing. And with that Neptune being in Pisces, in my opinion, it makes the veil very thin between the spirit world. We're more easily able to pick up on things that, whether that's people's thoughts, whether we interact with the spirit world on any level. For everyone, it's going to be different. Maybe you don't even care. You know what I mean? So with that being said, it's a really good time to kind of tune in to what energy you're picking up. The downside is I feel like some of this Scorpio energy is really going to challenge us with when things do not go our way, especially with that Venus square to Mars. It's going to make us want to revert to old habits and patterns that might not specifically be for our highest and best. And honestly, look, Venus is on the bottom. So I love that. So that's really just confirming that try to indulge a little bit more in that Venus energy, the love, the support, the nurture, the validation, affirmation, versus, Mars energy can be kind of critical. It can be overwhelming. It's the masculine, right? Like the father putting you in your place, especially around duality. Mars is in Gemini right now, which deals with, two sides of the same coin. So when you're not seeing things work out how you had anticipated, instead of getting hard on yourself, chastising yourself, really try to step into more love and nurture. And honestly, they're out of conjunction, but both Venus and Neptune are in Pisces. So it is a really great time just to kind of amplify that love, that affection through emotional wellness and healing. We are in Aquarius season. Happy birthday to any Aquariuses out there that are celebrating this week. that gives us the opportunity to kind of think creatively about what we're coming up against. Think outside of the box, especially as it relates to like how we're showing up in our life. The Sun and Saturn are in conjunct-ish, you know, they are, they will be as the week moves on, I'm pretty sure. Hold on, let me just double check. No, okay, never mind. Scratch that. But currently they are in conjunct with one another. So this is really talking about how, you know, beware of the lessons that you're learning about yourself. You know, make sure that, and really kind of deriving more creative solutions with how to deal with your problems instead of like standing in your ego of F you, you know. It's hard to hear things about ourselves, especially things that we don't like, or see us make decisions, take action that we're embarrassed about. That's super challenging, right? You know, but I think that there is potential to communicate, to express from that space of like, hey, this is how I am learning, working, growing on myself, making changes, etc. There, like I said, there's a lot of tension. We need to really connect with that inner wisdom instead of functioning so much out of the ego placement, which is really easy to do because, you know, it's hard to look at the parts of us, like I said, that like we don't feel as fondly of. But as we do, that's kind of where that energy begins to lessen. And that's shown as we're moving through the week because, like I was talking about with that Sun-Saturn placement, the fortune point ends up coming in between as the week progresses. And it actually aligns with our Sun energy. So the way we, you know, represent who we are. And as it aligns, it's giving us that opportunity to get a little bit of a, you know, a little, like, I don't know why I want to call it stuff, but like, just like a little gift of abundance, you know, like, here you go. Helping us, you know, do the healing work. It's, you know, obviously in life, we can't constantly be learning lessons. There has to be balance, right? There has to be things that we get rewarded for. And that's what the fortune point brings us. I was laughing because Saturn doesn't really bring us that energy. Saturn is the tension through the resistance, through the struggle, through the oppression. That's how we learn our lessons. And sometimes Saturn energy is just there for, you know, those lessons to be learned. But it's also, so I'm hearing this especially as like, we want to make sure that we are resistant in the right way, that we're fighting for things in the quote unquote right way. As the week moves forward, like I said, there's a better way of communicating around how things are looking in your life. You're finding it easier to indulge in that Venus energy. And moving through that helps you make the choices that are better suited for you. But like I said, it's this fine line between saying F you versus I'm just not going to do it that way. Thank you, but no thank you is what I want to say, right? And the more we tap into loving ourselves, supporting ourselves, being our own best friend, our cheerleader, rah-rah. Dude, I'm such a nerd. The better, you know, the better it works out. Because this period of time is about developing our sense of self. We have Chiron, Jupiter, and the vertex point all in Aries energy. Aries rules the first house, the house of self, as does the, the sun is, sorry, I'm going to go on a tangent, but I will spare you from that. But this is talking about how things are coming to head and we have to deal with it whether we like it or not. If we do it from a space of our healing, our growth, our betterment, that is where we're going to thrive. That is where we get these gifts of abundance. Versus the places, like I said, that Mars energy of chastising ourselves. Well, you should have. Life is life. We do the best we can with what we're given at the time. And we all make stupid choices, right? That actually came up in a lot of the zodiac readings I was doing today. It's part of being a human, making dumb choices. There you go. Justification for all bad behavior. No, I'm joking. Like I said, there is a little bit of a softening of that energy, but then we're also finding a stellium, which is, well, I guess technically it's the fortune point, but which is really when 3 planets, 3 energies come into play, that they all align with one another. And that is that Mercury, fortune point, and Pluto energy in Capricorn. So this talks about, as the week moves on, the work that you have done, where you have made the changes, and you're communicating out of that empowerment. Again, Spirit's going to give you that a little bit of a blessing. And it's almost like you're getting closer to surpassing, to overcoming this period of learning, this period of time where you do have, depending on where these planets show up in your house, how they aspect to your natal chart will really dictate where these things are happening in your life, whether it's easy or not to move through this. Like I said, collectively, it is a little bit of a shakeup right now. In regards to, I feel like it's kind of just sorting things out. There's so much every which way, and we're all trying to ground into who we are. I love that confirmation, that first house, like I said, that house of self, how we show up for who we are. It's being challenged through the opposition. Like we talked about, sometimes we have the opportunity to grow out of, thoughtful intent. But most of the time, it's through the challenge, it's through the strife, it's through the obstacles that are put in front of us. What I love about opposition energy is, it's challenging, it causes tension, but it can also amplify. It amplifies. I love that, Cancer, our feeling, our knowing. Cancer energy also rules the 4th house of home and well-being. So it's the places that we nurture ourselves and support ourselves, the places that we feel safe. We need to cultivate that for our energy, because that really is going to help us define better what works for us and what doesn't. Okay. Let's move along, Deborah. And, it's hard because I think that we are going to see and have been seeing places that we need to balance out our emotions a little bit more, where our emotions have gotten the best of us and then prevented us from really aligning with that abundance. This could even be in areas of relationship, partnership, people we've worked with. And, it's changing the game. It's changing the playing field a little bit. There's a little more fire energy on the board in regards to how things are moving forward for us. And like I said, it's going to make the situations where we're dealing with other people more emotional, less grounded. But I feel like that's why there's this extra emphasis on you this week. So again, I will reiterate it until I am blue in the face, really taking time to nurture self-love, self-care. Don't run your mouth too much. I think there is this energy of kind of withdrawing from the spotlight a little bit more. Not that you can't spend time with people, etc., but I feel like it's like, know the people you're spending time with. Don't specifically go and hang out with someone who's been triggering you left and right, because that's going to bring about a communication that I feel like won't happen in the most fluid way, right? Something is going to get said that neither party really wants to hear, that could actually, again, kind of distract from the goal at hand. And if you're able to just sit on it versus say something about it, you're going to feel that tension release. There's not a lot of transits as we move towards the end of this week, towards the 12th, the end of this reading. So I feel like, again, your work is going to be less with people around you. It will be more like, try not to say too much. Leave the more serious things for a minute, because we are also in the waning phase of the moon. Anytime we're in the waning phase, that's where we're kind of just releasing and letting go of these things that don't work, that don't serve us, etc. So this is really talking about you not getting stuck in the nitty gritty, in the petty BS that really doesn't matter. And believe you me, you're going to feel it. You're going to want to say something. You're going to want to revert to old patterns of behavior, especially towards the end of the week as the moon moves into Scorpio, aligning with that north or the south node energy. The karma. This is the first step towards expansion, towards aligning you with what you want. I just pulled out Sagittarius energy and I looked down at the chart, and the fortune point is in Sagittarius, right? There we go. But you got to do the work. I'm going to close out with the message. Yeah, you got to do the work. We have to do the practical work. That's the annoying side of manifesting. I would like it if you just pressed a few buttons and it manifested, it appeared. But unfortunately, I haven't refined my skills to that point yet. I kind of feel like we will, as a collective, as things speed up, as we become more aware, more conscious. Some people talk about it ascending to new dimensions. For sure, life is speeding up. It will be interesting to see. All right, so final message. First quarter, I love that. So that popped out again. That essentially confirms and strengthens that message that you're on the path. This is a new beginning. Even though I talked about us being in the waning phase, I feel like the releasing is essential for you in order to kind of align with those goals and intentions. Yeah, I love that, Sarah. So nurturing what you're growing, what you're building, continuing on that path. The first quarter is when we are gathering all the energy, and we're just funneling it forward because we know there is something that's way more supportive, way more in alignment with us. And it is happening, but unfortunately, it's coming through the challenge and the strife. Ooh, I love that. That's such confirmation because Uranian energy has been really strong lately. It rules Aquarius. We're in Aquarius season. So this is really about, like, again, your surrounding environments. The 11th house is friendship, hopes, and wishes. The way we want things to manifest, communicating with other people, broadening our horizons, you know, standing up for injustice, what is not honorable and correct and integrous. And that's what you're doing with the challenge that is in front of you right now. It's not fun. It's not easy. We often have to say no and a potential F you to something that's not aligning. But when we do, I will say this again till I'm blue in the face, it actually puts us in better alignment with what we are working towards. So guys, I hope this astrology reading helped. Thank you so much for tuning in. Definitely thumbs up if it resonated. Drop comments below. I would love to just hear, you know, how this manifests in your life. Build and grow the community. I appreciate all the love and support always. Many blessings, lots of abundance.